Many people think that fallen angels are like demons. They are a mysterious and intriguing subject in religious traditions and play an important role in Bible stories. Even though the Bible doesn't give us many details about them, there are some passages and apocryphal texts that tell us more. An example is the Book of Enoch, which sheds light on these spiritual beings. In this video, you will discover 7 interesting secrets about the fallen angels in the Bible. To understand better, let's go beyond what is in common biblical passages. Are you curious? So keep watching until the end. Fallen angels are spiritual beings who are in a state of rebellion against God and oppose His work. The Bible does not say exactly how many evil angels there are, but it seems to indicate that there are many. As for the names of the fallen angels, the Scriptures name only the main one by name, Satan. The Holy Bible does not provide details about the origin of angels in general. However, the Bible is clear that God is the only and supreme creator of all things. So this means that the fallen angels are also God's creatures. However, everything that God created was originally good, since evil cannot come from it. Therefore, the fallen angels were not created evil. This truth even explains the designation fallen angels. These spiritual beings were good in the beginning, but they did not maintain that condition and fell from the original state in which they were created. Jude writes that these angels did not keep their principality, but left their own dwelling. The Scriptures do not reveal the specific sin of these angels. All that is known is that they sinned against God. Many scholars suggest that the sin that brought down the fallen angels probably has a connection with pride and arrogance. If this is the case, then somehow, at some unknown time, these angels aspired to possess the authority that belongs only to God. Now let's go deep into these 7 secrets involving the fallen angels. The first was the celestial insurrection. One of the most notable biblical passages related to the fallen angels is the prophecy found in Isaiah 14. In this passage, the story of the revolt carried out by Lucifer in the heavens is narrated, being considered one of the most emblematic biblical stories. This narrative is known as the Song of the Dawn, or the Song of the Dawn, or the Song of the Morning Star. The account refers to an uprising in the heavens in which Lucifer sought to usurp the divine throne and establish his own supreme rule. However, due to his pride and rebellion, he was exiled to earth and finally to the abyss. Although the name Lucifer is not explicitly mentioned in this context, the traditional interpretation associates it with this being. The second, the Watchers in the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch, an apocryphal text, details the story of the Watchers, angels who fell from heaven and descended to earth, interacting with humanity and resulting in the creation of hybrid offspring, known as Nephilim. The Watchers' narrative resembles that of Lucifer, although it focuses more on the angels' direct interaction with humans. Watchers who became involved with human women are considered responsible for bringing forbidden knowledge to humanity, including secret arts and sciences, which was seen as a divine transgression. The descendants of angels, the Nephilim, are mentioned not only in the Book of Enoch, but also briefly in the Bible, as in Genesis 6:4. Third, the revolt of the angels in Genesis. Genesis 6:1 mentions that the sons of God joined with the daughters of men, possibly referencing the fallen angels interacting with humans and giving rise to the Nephilim. This passage is notable for several reasons, and debate over its interpretation ranges from a literal view to a symbolic interpretation, relating it to the moral corruption of humanity in that period. The rising of Satan. Revelation 12 describes a heavenly battle between Michael and his angels and the dragon, identified as Satan. This suggests a rebellion in heaven, and this passage is interpreted as an allegory of Satan's revolt on high, where he led an insurgency against God and was defeated by Michael the archangel and his angels. Satan's revolt and his expulsion from heaven are often interpreted as an explanation for the origin of evil and suffering in the world. Fifth, the abyss in Revelation 9, 1:3, refers to a star that falls from the sky and opens the abyss, releasing evil creatures. This may be an allusion to the fallen angels who were imprisoned after the Great Rebellion. The abyss in Revelation is often associated with events of divine judgment and the manifestation of evil during the apocalyptic period. Sixth, the arrest of the angels in Jude. The book of Jude, in verse 6, refers to the angels who did not maintain their original position and are in eternal prisons. Many theologians argue that the text refers to fallen angels, suggesting that these angels have rebelled against God and are trapped in darkness, awaiting Judgment Day. Seven, Legion and the herd of pigs. The story of Legion in Mark 5:1-20 describes a man possessed by a legion of demons who are cast out by Jesus and allowed into a herd of pigs. This illustrates the power of the fallen angels, as the demons request Jesus not to send them into the abyss, but into the herd of swine. The temptation of Jesus in the desert. In Matthew 4:1-11, Luke 4:1-13, and Mark 1:12-13, we find the narrative in which Jesus is tempted by Satan in the desert. This passage highlights the presence of Satan as a figure who tries to seduce and corrupt the Son of God. The temptations of Jesus by Satan demonstrate the role of fallen angels in temptation and evil on earth. The rebellion of angels in Ezekiel. In the book of Ezekiel, specifically in Ezekiel 28:12-17, we find a passage that describes the king of Tyre as a figure who was expelled from Eden because of his pride and sin. Although originally directed at a human king, this passage is also often interpreted as an allusion to Lucifer's fall and rebellion in heaven. Spiritual warfare. The New Testament frequently refers to spiritual battles and struggles against evil forces. For example, in Ephesians 6:10-18, Paul describes the need to put on the armor of God to resist the attacks of the devil and his demonic hosts. This implies the persistent presence of fallen angels, led by Satan, in the human spiritual sphere. These biblical passages highlight the presence of fallen angels, led by Lucifer, also known as Satan, and their role in the religious and theological narrative of rebellion and evil. They have been a source of debate and interpretation over the centuries, contributing to the understanding of the origins of evil, temptation, and suffering in Christian theology. The fallen angels follow in the footsteps of their boss, Satan. They are committed to fighting against God and His people. The great objective of the fallen angels is to destroy the work of God. Therefore, fallen angels do exactly the opposite of what God's holy angels do. While the good angels worship and serve God faithfully, the fallen angels are in permanent opposition against Him. In this state of rebellion, the fallen angels rise up against the redeemed and still seek to blind and encourage sinners to continue and delight in the evil that they practice. But despite being powerful beings, the fallen angels will never be able to change the sentence that is upon them. The Apostle Peter says that God did not forgive the angels who sinned, and now they are delivered to the chains of eternal darkness. Therefore, the fallen angels are under the judgment of God and will receive all divine punishment because of their sin on the great day of judgment. 2 Peter 2:4, Sif, Jude 1:6. The final destiny of the fallen angels is unalterable and their damnation irrevocable. Together with Satan, they will be thrown into the lake of fire. Matthew 25:41, Revelation 20:20. If you liked this video, subscribe and leave a like. It is very important for the growth of this channel. See you in next video.